Hi. Oh gosh, it looks like I am just the sweatiest sweat person, but that's not what's happening. It's Vaseline. I'm having this issue where my skin is extremely dry, like on my clavicle and on my neck and on my face. So I'd rather be a shiny mess than a peeling dry, ashy boo boo face. But, anyways, hello everyone. So, if you are hashtag replay gang, please go ahead and check the description box below to find out when I get the porty sorted. Okay? Okay, where are all my couples? You know what I can do? I could definitely get rid of all this Love is Blind. Okay, let's go ahead and do that while everybody comes into the room. Shall I sing you a lullaby? Tooraloo-raloo-raleigh. It's an Irish lullaby. Tooraloo-raloo-raleigh. Oh, Lord. Oh, you know what else I can get rid of? MILF Manor. Oh, let's get rid of that. I sure didn't finish that. It just was too weird. Okay, 10 people. Nobody wants to listen to me talk about seeking brother husband? Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Mickey. Hide your donkeys. Yeah. Yeah, we'll hide the donkeys. Tooraloo. I don't even know. I don't even know the rhythm of it, the melody. Tooraloo. Thank you. Hey, Flower Lotus. Look how much water I drank today, y'all. All of this. I think I got to about No Excuses, which is 5 p.m. And I'm going to finish it. I'm so excited. Hey, Deidria. Or Dedria. Okay, where are my notes? Where are my good old notes? Last week it just got away from me. I couldn't do anything, so I'm behind in everything. I still got to talk about Love After Lockup. I still got to talk about 90 Day Fiance. Did I even talk to you guys about Love in Paradise? No. Oh, thanks, Slice and Dyson. I Love in Paradise. What do you guys think? Are you loving it? Do you need me to recap it, or will you just listen to it on DocuSweeties? I probably need to do both. These little YouTube checks come in clutch. Come in handy, bo bandy. You know what I'm saying? This is my third job. This is my second job. DocuSweeties is my third job. You know, I have 3 jobs. I'm a working lady. I love it too. Happy hump day. I love it as well, Mickey. Mickey's talking about Love in Paradise. This last episode was called Rump Shaker. Okay, these titles of toe got me like, what are we talking about here? It feels like toe is really serious. It's like The love that blooms soon turns to ashes. Girl, what does that mean? Is Rishi acting a fool or what? And the answer is yes. And are we here for it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, she was. Sorry, it's my job. Okay, I'm free. We'll get started in 8 seconds. Me too, Mickey. Me too. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Seeking Brother Husband, Season 1, Episodes 3-5. Who knows the title? But if you're new to my channel, my name is Wah. I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Seeking Sister Wife, Seeking Brother Husband, Married at First Sight, Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, 90 Day Fiancé, and everything almost in the 90 Day Fiancé universe. So if you are interested in that content, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to give your girl a little tip for getting the hee hee ha ha's while watching this, please do so with these options down below. And if you are an international baddie, be you male, female, or anywhere on that binary, you can go ahead and give me a tip via thank you, which is a couple of steps over from the thumbs up button. But speaking of thumbs up button, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. All right. Let's jump right into this episode. Hi, Ty. Welcome to the live. So glad you made it. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Heather B. Hello, Co. It's Vaseline on my face, Co. It's Vaseline because your girl is having some kind of springtime reaction. Okay, just dry and hurts all over the face. We'll be going to a dermatologist. Don't know what it is. Pray for me. Okay, first couple that we are going to talk about is Elise and Mike. I feel like these guys are really frauds. Only because I got the tea last episode, and the truth is that they are both. In fact, most of these couples are both just polyamorous. Like it's not polyandry. You know, they are allowed to seek other relationships outside of their marriages, and kind of watching them talk about it is a little like, I'm like, this feels dumb, especially because as we're going to see in these episodes, Mike's mother has some strong feelings about it. Okay, so let's get started with them. In episode 3, I only took a little bit of notes when it comes to them, so we're going to speed right through them. Okay, guys. I mean, are you that interested in them? So Elisa meets with her best friend Amanda, and Amanda has great advice. Okay, Amanda, I don't remember exactly what she says, but whatever she says was really poignant. And I thought, like, I'm so happy that these two have each other, that she has a best friend who didn't know about this lifestyle until it was introduced to her, but is super accommodating to it. So they look at her profile. She goes over everything. They just talk about, and Elisa has some really good photos. I don't know what producer told her to do a scene with her and her mom taking photos in that living room, but those are not the pictures that she put on that website. She looks great in the website. I mean, the hair is like doing a thing and she's smiling big. She put her wedding photos and everyone's like, oh my God, you put your, I mean, Amanda, like, oh my God, you put your wedding photo. And she's like, yeah, well, they need to know that I'm married. And this is all very true. And I just don't like the way that Elisa is getting the brunt of all of the questions and all of the judgment. Because if they were to just say, or if Mike were to say, I want to see other people and I want my wife to see other people, or I want my wife to be happy because she wants to kind of show love and have love in different places because, you know, our marriage could possibly get stagnant one day and she doesn't want that. And so this kind of fulfills her and I want this for her and I want to be happy for it. Hey, if one day I feel like looking around for myself, then I'm going to do that as well. But it sounds like everyone is just like, well, she cheated, so you're just giving her an out. And I don't like that they're leading with the fact that she cheated. That is a separate thing that is not okay. And the fact that they link it to this kind of upsets me. Not upsets me in like anywhere I really care about their lives. I don't know if people don't care about them, right? Well, I just think that it is a dumb choice. I guess that's what it is. It's not that it upsets me. I think it's a dumb choice. Because it kind of denies the fact that instead of just telling and her husband or being honest, or I mean, because she was sneaking, right? She had to have been sneaking behind her husband's back. And I think that that is the crime, right? Is the sneaking. If she had said, hey, I'm actually thinking about sleeping with somebody outside of you, and I have this strong connection with them, and I know you're going to hate me, but I love you so much and respect you so much that I'm just telling you rather than doing it, right? Because it's not like they had been together for years and years and years and they had kids and her husband stopped making her feel sexy. I mean, maybe he did, right? But it's not that old, tale as old as time conversation of why someone might step out. This just feels like she's newly married, or I don't know, in the beginning portions of marriage, and she just felt this deep connection that she lost her mind, snuck around on her husband for a month and a half, and then just her pants fell off. Like, the choice to have sex is like an intent. You don't just fall into that, especially if you're a married woman. You know, you want to. You don't you want to. So I'm like, just tell your husband that you're thinking of doing that before you do it. Oh, Heather says, I can't find one guy I want to date. I can't imagine having several people I'm interested in dating. Girl, it is slim pickings out there. And because I'm so starved for love and affection, and I'm like the loneliest lonely, sometimes I end up being interested in people that I shouldn't be interested in. So I said interested like I said it like a Belizean, like just the way I said that, interested in, like that is that is, I put a different inflection on the word. Anyways, you heard it. If you heard it, you didn't hear it, it's fine. So hard to know. When she said she felt the same connection with a random guy as it seemed dismissive of her husband. The way she said it didn't sound dismissive to me, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. I don't know if you're married, and so therefore, like, it has a different weight to it than what I would think. So, not an argument by the least. I didn't get that though. I got that it really did mean something to her, which is why I feel like she should have been able to share that with her husband. If I'm with somebody and some other man makes me feel so strongly towards them, to the point where I can't control myself when I'm around them and I move to have sex with them, like the moment I'm on the bed, legs open, I would stop myself and be like, wait a minute. You make me feel like my husband, but you're not my husband, and I respect him enough and love him enough because he makes me feel the exact same way you did to tell him. I don't know. So they talk to his mom and they make they make plans to meet the mom, and the mom and her parents are meeting. And so then we have a scene where he meets with his friends Chris and Eric, and they're eating snacks. And one of them is like, "Ooh, that's got a little kick to it." I don't know if I have ever. I mean, I've heard. I had a roommate. Sorry, I had a roommate. Her name is Brittany. She's white. One time I made something, and she said that exact thing, and I literally went and tasted it, and I was like, I didn't taste a second of whatever she was tasting. I mean, the girl started coughing. And so whenever someone says, "Ooh, they got a little kick in it," or "Oh, that's spicy," I think of Brittany, and I'm like, then that means that thing isn't spicy. I mean, it just means not to say I have other white friends. My friend Ashley freaking loves hot sauce. Like, I don't know, like she has a like hierarchy of the hot sauces. So it's not just them. It's just Brittany that makes me go, wow, what does it taste like in your mouth? I had one friend tell me that hot sauce and pepper tasted like his mouth was simply on fire and that he couldn't enjoy his food. And I thought, I see, what I'm saying is that my mouth is kind of on fire. Not on fire. My mouth is like warm. Okay. It's warm, but it has lots of flavor as well. So it's like instead of the oven being 400 degrees, it's 250. You know what I'm saying? It's 200 degrees, but not enjoyable, very enjoyable. Okay. Ooh, it's got a little kick. I thought immediately of Brittany, and I was like, that shit is probably has no spice in it at all. Probably has like black pepper. And so one of the friends is really concerned about Mike, and they truly feel like he is being bamboozled into something because he really loves her. And I think my thought pattern is like I don't think that anybody who didn't really love their partner and really be okay with it would be able to stand for that. Like Vincent, right? Like Vince. Vince is somebody who's like, I can't handle this. And he's not even married to Kim. So I think it's interesting that his friends don't believe him. They just think he's like, I don't know, whipped over Elisa, that he would just like give up his whole morals and everything that he wants to do in life in order to be with her. So they meet with her parents and his parents. And they go on a wine hike, they say. And I was like, I don't want a wine hike. Those are two different things for me. Okay, a hike deserves water. Wine deserves a charcuterie board and me sitting down in shade. So Elisa finally tells the story of her cheating, and I am shocked. I'm like, every time she says that she cheated on him, she should feel embarrassed. And the fact that she says it so readily and so like, yeah, so that time I cheated on my husband was not because I didn't love him. It's because I really like this other person too. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. So his mom can't stand it. His mom is like, you weren't raised like that. And I don't know why you think that this is appropriate. And then they start talking about kids. And she's like, he's like, yeah, I mean, well, that's not completely off the table. And she's like, no, we're not having kids. We're not having kids. And he was like, well, I mean, we haven't settled. And she's like, no, we have settled and we're not having kids. And so it made them look like they weren't on the same page. And Elisa was upset because she's like, we've talked about this and we're not having kids. And I kind of wish that once I found out that it was going to be very difficult for me to have them, that I had been so sure. You know, I feel like what's going to happen to me is that I'm going to get like to the age where they're all gone, and then I'm going to find somebody great. And then I'm going to be pissed. But the fact that she's like, no, we are not having kids. And he's like, well, it's still on the table. I'm like, y'all need to sit down and talk about that. Because if she doesn't want that to happen and you want that to maybe happen, then it's not going to work. and you're married, y'all need to talk about that. So, anyways, he walks up and has a conversation with his mother, and his mother's just like, I don't see this for you. Like, I don't want this for my child. And I guess I'm just like, I don't see what's so wrong with it that she feels like he doesn't deserve this thing. Um, so yeah. All right, let's talk about somebody juicy. I'll save Kim and Dustin for last because while they were good, they weren't as juicy. Let's talk about Shara, Patrick, and Noble, actually. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest, as I do for this. And he's outside, so I love the fact that we've got natural light. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope it isn't loud outside, Yoshi. Welcome, Yoshi! Hi,
How's it going?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Uh-oh.
I'm gonna put my headphones on. Oh, actually, that's maybe what's happening. Maybe that's why I can't hear you. Okay, talk now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, great. Let me get my background together. What is this?
Can you hear that bird?
Yes, I did hear that bird. It's fine. Here, let's do this one. This is usually for me and Chris for Say What, but it's fine. We'll do this. I like this background. Okay, so let's move on and talk about who did I say? Shara and Noble and Babes. What are you drinking? Oh, a Corona. Nice.
Corona, yep.
I have a little wine
Oh, you're out. You need some more.
and I have something else that I'm going to pour in there.
What is it? Tequila.
Tequila. Everyone's so happy. Yoshi. Yoshi. Hi, Renee. I'm gonna explain to you that I'm not sweating. I just put a lot of Vaseline on my face because I'm having some kind of reaction to the spring weather. My skin is extremely dry. Extremely dry. Okay. So let's talk about how are you?
I'm good. Just been
Okay.
working a lot, but I'm catching up on my episodes. So
I know. I go into the app and I'm like, oh, he watched it. Because the episode's already watched, and I'm like, oh.
I got ahead of you at some point. Yeah.
Yay, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about Patrick, Shara, and Noble. So episode 3, we've got Shara telling Patrick that Noble wants to move back in, and they both start to laugh. They're both like, no. And I want to know exactly what Patrick or what Noble did to Patrick. And all Patrick will say is that he was just like in his space. Like he, instead of like staying downstairs in the basement, he would just come upstairs. And I'm like, does the basement have a kitchen and a refrigerator? Like, what is it that you guys are just wanting to live in the basement like he's a gremlin? like, like he can't come upstairs. Um, and so Shara says that Patrick doesn't know how to court. He just wants sex. And Patrick says that he wants a lifetime membership without a fee. I don't know how I feel about. I mean, I understand exactly what they're saying, but how does she get involved in a relationship with somebody who doesn't give her what she wants? It feels weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because that was their first, I guess, step into the brother husband situation, right? So I think, given that they had this past of trauma with the car accident and all that stuff, I think they were just like, let's just see who we can get, and maybe just he was the first person that came along and kind of just brought that romantic spark aspect. But then I think, yeah, once he moved in, it sounds like it didn't go according to plan. He was kind of just bumming it, riding on their coattails. Um, I thought he was younger actually, but he's like 39. Like he needs to get his shit together.
He's 39.
So I get wrong. I thought I read somewhere that he's like 39 because I was like, how old is this dude? Because is he like significantly younger? But I'm like, he's 39. He's a grown ass man. Like he shouldn't be like riding on their coattails and expecting not to put in work.
Yeah, you're right. Let me see if I wrote in my notes how old he is. Carl is 52. I wrote that. And Elisa, Mike, Carl and Tiger, Dustin and Kim. Oh no, I guess I didn't write it down. Oh, I put that Noble is She's been with Noble for 2 years, but I didn't put how old he was. Um, so yes, it looks like in this episode that she wants a baby. It's called 2 Men and a Baby. So she knows that, we have this little snippet of her saying like, oh, I can't have kids with Noble. And we think it's just because she thinks he's like kind of like loosey goosey, but it's because he has the sickle cell anemia, sickle cell trait. And so does she. So if they had a child, that the child would be ill. And I was like, well, that's a really good reason. I don't even know if I have that trait. I don't think I do, but like I've never gotten tested for that to see if I carry that trait. So I think it's important as Black people, if you do have it, to know that you have it so that you can check and see if the person you're with has it. So she comes outside and she's wearing a cute outfit. Every single scene, she's got the best outfit on, and I'm so jealous. Between her and Kenya, I'm like, I need to step my game up. So say it again.
I said she was dressed pretty sharp for sure.
Yes. So she comes out with these high-waisted jeans on, body right, body tight, and she runs up to Patrick because he's washing the car. And we find out that Patrick has 5 kids between the ages of 25 and 35. So I'm like, that was a busy 10 years, bro. Like he was out here, outing in here and here and outing here. And he said that 3 are from his ex-wife and 2 are not. So I want to know what Patrick was doing. And Shara announced that she wants to have a baby. And Noble feels like he pulls up and Patrick immediately has something to say to him. It's like I could tell Patrick was like kind of annoyed with him. You're trying to get into the light?
Yeah, I'm like like glaring sun and shade. So find me.
If you want to shift yourself, you can. So, I mean, could you not tell that Patrick has like some kind of feelings towards Noble with that comment when they first pulled up?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounds like he definitely has some feelings. I think the whole baby situation is probably was just like the last straw on the camel's back. Like they may have entertained the thought of Noble coming back in, but I think when do we get to the baby part yet? How?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So like when she kind of stated that she wants a baby, I think that kind of brought up even more for her why Noble's kind of like not it for her.
Yeah. So he finds this out and he doesn't really have anything much to say besides the fact that he thinks that he's going to be repositioned with her, like trying to find somebody that wants to have a baby with her. So the next scene we have is her with this man named Dre, and they go salsa dancing. Again, another great outfit. And I took video of Dre dancing and I freaking forgot to upload it. It was so funny for me because it looks like he was counting every single step and that he like didn't know what to do. I can't believe I forgot to put this up.
Were they also lessons? I can't remember. Lessons, or were they actually in a nightclub dancing?
Oh, there was lessons.
Okay. Well, that's probably why he was counting.
Yeah, you're right. But he was just like, I don't know what I did with it. I can't believe I forgot it. But anyways, yeah, so he was just like, whoa, 1, 2. And I mean, they did it and she giggled and thought it was a really fun date. And then they go outside and they talk and she's like, I want a baby. And he immediately is like, he was not into that. But he also has no experience with dating a married woman. So he wasn't really into it. He says that she's a beautiful he called her a beautiful young lady. And I was annoyed. I was annoyed by that. Cause I'm like, she's not a young lady. I feel like he said something that like old men, like uncles say to like younger women. Hello, beautiful young lady. What did you think of the date with him? Do you remember it or no?
I remember bits and pieces. Yeah, I don't think they were the right fit. I mean, I think she caught on early on. It was just a one date, right? I don't think they saw each other. Yeah.
That bird. And then she said, then she met with Valentino, and their first date was them taking pictures together, which I quite didn't understand. What did you think of that?
Was Valentino the guy from episode 5 as well? Was it the same guy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember them taking pictures. Was it just like a couple session, like right off the bat? It seems kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly. They wore matching clothes, matching colors, and they took pictures for their first date. And she tells him that she has a husband, and he goes through feeling like whatever his feelings are about that, worried about the husband possibly being jealous. And she absolutely talks about wanting to have a baby, and he says no because he's working on his financial stability. And then the next time they meet each other, they're wearing again matching clothing. She's wearing green camo like bodysuit, and he's wearing a green like camo shirt. And then they go find like some kind of waterfall in the woods. And by this time they've been talking every single day, every night. And she brings up the baby again, and he's like, listen, not right now, but like maybe in the future. And I'm thinking he's talking about like 2 years, like, or a couple years until he gets financially stable. And he said like, I will get there eventually, or something like that. And so she's like, okay, well, I guess it's time to break up with Noble. And she's mentioned that she's tried to break up with Noble several times, and it hasn't worked. And I'm like, how have you tried to break up with him, and how has it not worked? Is my question. I wanted more information in that. So she meets with Noble, and he's upset. Do you remember him being upset about
Oh
the
yeah.
breakup? So tell me what you think about that.
I mean, I don't know why he's that upset. Like, I think she called him out in a few episodes ago. I think episode 2 or something, like early on, or 3. Called him out pretty early on about how he was what was it? There was a phrase like basically like he's more of a fling, not a ring guy. Uh,
Um,
so like I think the writing was kind of on the wall. He was still upset, which I get, but at the same time, like she was kind of transparent, and it sounds like she's made multiple attempts to let him know that they weren't satisfied with the way he was approaching the situation, the relationship.
yeah, and they met in a comic book store, which I'm not no judging, no judgment. But if I met somebody in a comic book store, I'd be like, this is not gonna work. Like, I get that it's your hobby, and I want to support you in your nerdy endeavors, okay? Because I too have nerdy endeavors, okay? However, like, I don't know if he works. Oh yeah, he works there because he's a comic book author. And so I want to know, like, that comic book. He does comic books. Like, can you tell me which ones? Like, can I purchase them? Can I read them? Can I see? Is it like talent, or is it just like he just likes to do that and he can draw a little bit? Does he do the artwork? Like, so I want to know. But he's pissed. He's like, this bullshit. He's like, this bullshit. You're replacing me. And she's like, I don't want you to think that I'm replacing you. I don't want you to think that I'm replacing you, because I'm not replacing you, and everybody deserves love. And he's like, you're replacing me. You're in with the new, and this is how it feels. Of course you don't think this is the way, because blah 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 blah. He like goes off on her, and she starts crying. And then he reaches over and he's like, oh, don't mess up your makeup. I don't know. I don't know if he thought that she wouldn't cry, but like I felt like it is, she seems like a sensitive soul.
For sure, yeah. Very.
Very sensitive. And so like, yeah, I don't know. So what do you think of Shara and this whole situation?
I mean, I think it's good that she's finally putting down the I guess the boundaries with this guy because it sounds like it hasn't been working for a while. Like he already lived there and moved out, right? So it already didn't work. I'm not sure if he just came back in the picture for the sake of the show, like just for theatrics. But it sounded like he didn't belong there in the first place. They'd already kind of cut ties with him. He moved out, and she seems very serious about wanting to have a child. And I get what is it, Patrick, right? Patrick's already got 5, so he's
Yeah.
he's his quota. And yeah, I think I understand why she's making moves to find the right person that's willing to raise a child with her. Although it is a little unfair for what's the new guy's Vincenzo
Valentina.
Valentino. Valentino, it's tough because for him, he it's probably tough to meet this person, know that they're married, and also like but they also want a child. It's kind of a lot to take in at one time. But for Shara, I feel like that's kind of what's needed because she's at that point in her life where she needs to have a kid soon or it might not happen. So she kind of has to be very upfront with these types of expectations because if not, then she may miss her window of opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. And that's such a hard conversation to have. I don't even know if I could have a conversation with somebody about that. Like, like, hey, I want you.
Yeah.
You would need to provide that. My conversation would be like, you could be around while I do this, but like, you know, but yeah, I think that's a very so many things make me so many things in life make me think like I'm gonna do that, and then when it comes time for me to do it, I'm like, yeah, I can't, you know. So she's being very bold. I actually want to jump to Kim and Dustin. I know I wanted to talk about. Oh no, did we talk about the fact that when Patrick and Valentino met at the pool hall? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. I know you said that you wouldn't want to share your person with someone else. But if someone else came to you that already had a husband, would you be willing to do that?
That's a tough. I mean, maybe in the right. If I had nothing else going on, and this person was really cool, and maybe it was just more like I'm not taking this whole thing seriously.
Okay.
And yeah, sure, down
All
for a
right.
good, here for a good time, not a long time, so might as well.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I felt awkward for Valentino having to meet Patrick because Patrick has been in this game, right? If he comes in very confident, even though he looks like a conehead, and I possibly in real life would be like, we come from France, like I wouldn't be able to take him seriously at all. But like, I think, did you hear that loud yell of me? Maybe it's just in my headphones.
It could have been the bird. The bird's been going nuts.
um, I I felt for Valentino in that moment to have that conversation with a man that is married to the person that you're kind of falling for. I think it would take like a special male energy to be able to do that because Patrick comes in, he's like her older brother a little bit. Like he's like, I want to know your intentions and like all this stuff. And I was just like, this is awkward, awkward. Um, but okay, anything else to say about Shara, Noble, Patrick, Valentino, John Jacob Jingo Hammersmith?
No.
Okay. Let's move on to these weirdos. Okay, so we've got Ben, we've got Kim, and we've got Dustin. Okay, so Kim is walking down the street with her friend, and they're just, I mean, it's just a lot of flowy gowns. There's a couple of dream catcher tattoos, some earrings, a lot of curly hair, just like real like modern Wicca, mother of nature, walking down the street situation. And she says that it's her friend Brittany, the polyandry guru. I think Brittany was the first person to kind of introduce her to this. I'm not quite sure, but you know, skirts, crop tops, and sandals. And the way that Kim describes how Vince is feeling about her wanting to date other guys is he has a bit of a tood about hearing about other guys. And I was like, a tood? Oh, Kim, you're so corny. So then her friend is like conveniently, oh my God, there's a party tomorrow. You should come. And she's like, okay. So they go to this party. What did you think of the party?
It seemed kind of weird. At first, I was like, "Is this a swingers party? What's going on?" But it seemed like that because they had that one friend that was there that clearly wasn't a swinger. Like they interviewed her, and she's like, "I think all this is kind of weird. It's not for me, but whatever. I'm open to it. If it's good for my friend and serves her, then I'll whatever makes her happy." But so it definitely
No,
wasn't a swingers
she
party.
was judgy as fuck.
Yeah, but she was there, so I'm like, okay, it wasn't a swingers party. It's just a weird gathering, but definitely seems like there are people there that are kind of in that scene. So yeah.
But the thing is, though, like, I don't think it was at all because I didn't see her hippy dippy friend there, the friend with the like skirt. But then that one lady who had, I mean, I don't know. I can't judge somebody by their clothing, but the one judgy lady who was dating the like eccentric friend was like, I think that marriage is between a man and a woman. And I could never do that. And I was like, wow, that's like super freaking judgy. And I'm trying to think, like, in my former life, was I this judgy? I mean, probably because I'm judgy now. So I think that's what it is. But did you so Vince ended up saying that he felt that Kim was ignoring him, and Kim felt like he was being standoffish and not really talking to her. So I don't really know what happened in that moment. I just know that Vince is having a super hard time with this.
Yeah, he seems like more of an introvert already, and I think they made a comment. Both of them might have made a comment that they've normally relied on her to kind of to keep him, involved in the scene wherever they're at. And this time, she was kind of letting him do his own thing, um, which was tough for him because he's not the type of person that can just walk up to somebody and maybe strike up a conversation and keep it going. So I think he felt a little awkward.
Yeah. Also, I think he was like the only person of color there, and I think that's another layer that would have made at least me feel awkward. But I don't know. I think of myself as being an introvert too, but that's why I always have an exit plan. Like I just don't go places. I go places, people invite me, and I'm like, oh, I'll swing by. Like that. I need everyone to know that, like, meaning I will swing by and stay for maybe 15 minutes. And I once had a friend who told me that when the moment I wanted to go, I needed to stay another 15 minutes to not just like abruptly leave. She's like, you have to make your rounds and like tell people you're going to go and then can move around the party. And I'm like, I can't just disappear. Like,
Exit, is that what it's called? Irish exit?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anything that has like a race or like an ethnicity attached to it, I assume is racist. So
Maybe. Irish
but
people are
yeah.
white. Not a big deal.
But yeah, I'm like, uh, no, Irish goodbye is the best. Okay, Heather says it. Heather says no. Yeah, that's me. I'm like, somebody, it's funny. Somebody once was like, yeah, me and my sister are Irish twins. We're born like less than a year apart. And I was like, my response literally to her was, that's just being ghetto. And she was offended. And I was like, no, it's just being ghetto. She was offended. Oh, whatever. Um, so then she ends up meeting this dude named Ryan there. She goes on a date with Ryan. I don't understand why any of these women don't just date men who are already open to doing this. They always have to break them in. Like, it feels like Noble was ready to do this because he'd already been with Kenya, but she has to now break Ryan in. And so her and Ryan go roller skating and they're sweating. And listen, skating is athletic. The last time I went roller skating, and almost a year and a half ago, I was sweating. And ever since then, I was like, I'm gonna buy skates. I'm gonna go roller skating as a form of exercise, and I haven't done it yet, but I will. So they go and they're having a good time and they're laughing, and then they go and sit down. And there's this awkward moment where they keep talking about how hot they are and how she needs to work out. And I'm like, I get it. I've had this weird small talk too. And then they start sharing some regular M&Ms that they put on the tabletop of this place. Do you remember this at all?
No, that seems weird.
It's gross. What do you think of regular M&Ms, and which M&Ms are superior?
I'm a peanut M&M guy for sure.
Yes. Why would you eat regular M&Ms?
Yeah, they're missing something. They're just so boring.
Yes, and then they dump them out on the tabletop and are just eating them like high schoolers. Um, so Ryan doesn't want to do this. He is making jokes as he is asking her questions like, "Hey, like, do I have to be in a relationship with Dustin too?" And my first thought was, maybe, because I feel like Dustin might like men. So Dustin is like, yeah, I get happiness as seeing my wife like date other men, but I do get jealous. And so either Dustin is dating his own women or he has like a kink about being cuckolded. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I could see it, but he also talked about how his emotions were when he first saw Kim walk out and go on a date, and how that made him feel insecure and all that stuff. So yeah, he could be more fluid though. Maybe he's into some stuff. That's the thing, is like, I think the whole show. I mean, this is part of, obviously the focus is on the brother husband situation and these women that can have multiple partners, but I feel like the whole show is hiding the men's other lives, right? Like, what else are they doing? Like, you think what's his name, Carl. You were like,
Hmm.
Carl's a pimp, and he's like getting out there with all these women. Like, could be, but it's like we have no idea. All we see is this side of Carl where he's kind of just like the original husband. And he's kind of like on the wayside. He's like now in like in number three position, but like still secure as the original husband. So he's got all the financial interest in the mortgage, and he's got the kids and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just a lot of questions with what men's lives are like. But again, not the focus of the show. So maybe
Yeah, I think that they're prodding us a little bit, and I don't like that. I can honest. Yeah, I don't. I think every single couple is seeing, every single man is seeing somebody else. I think, or wants to.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I think that's the case, but it's hard to they don't show that side of it, so it's hard to know like it's really what's going on in the background.
Yeah, I don't think Tiger is though. Tiger feels like he is like super super into like Kenya. Like
Yeah.
he it feels like that he loves her. And not to jump to them, but like cuz I know you got to go soon. Um but like I think that I don't know, give me your thoughts about Kenya and them before you leave.
Um, I mean, I thought it was kind of cute how she proposed to him at the end of that fifth episode. That was a nice gesture because sensing the insecurity and also like Carl, I guess, was an advocate, and he like he said he's not just taking a side to be on his side, but he was putting himself in Tiger's shoes and can understand how he could feel insecure when again like he's got nothing on the table, right, in terms of the like financial risk and all that stuff. I did think it was a little condescending for Kenya and Carl to go like furniture shopping for his bedroom like he's a kid. Like let's go pick out his bedroom. Like he doesn't like need any input in that and how he wants to live. I don't know. It's just kind of weird,
Yeah.
but
No, I thought it was weird too, but I'm like, I don't know if he doesn't have any style and she buys everything for him. And so like she just needed some kind of support with him going and being there. Um, so maybe that's what it is too. And that poor saleswoman, like I don't know, did the producer tell her to ask like whose bedroom this is? Or maybe it's a part of her job to like try to help find out whose bedroom it is. But once she said that, she had a bunch of questions. And old girl was like, listen, I live with two dogs, and that is plenty for me.
I like her style.
Yeah, I loved her for that too. I was like, all right, I like it. What did you think of the mom of let's skip to Elise and Mike. What did you think of the mom like having such strong feelings about this? Mike's mom.
I mean, it's not all that surprising. She
Oh,
definitely seems like a very you know traditional mom, and they're from a generation where these types of things probably didn't exist as much, and maybe they did, but just not as out in the open. And yeah, like she just didn't envision this for her son, and I think knowing that Elisa had an affair, you know, I can understand why she's skeptical whether this is actually Mike's idea. You know, I'm still skeptical, even though he says it in the show, like, "Oh, this is." People keep forgetting this is my idea. I'm like, was it really? Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem like he was. I can't tell if Elisa's really manipulating him or he's just kind of like, no, this is something that I want as well.
yeah.
Because Mike as well. I wonder if he's got some other situation going on for himself because he keeps saying like this is what we want. I'm like, what do you mean we? Like what's in it for you? Like I don't know. I would love to know what else is involved in this arrangement that we're not seeing.
Yeah, apparently they had a podcast. I don't know if I told you that. They had a podcast about polyamory, Mike and Elisa. And we definitely know that Carl and Kenya have been trying to get on shows talking about their polyamory for a long time because they were on an episode of Dr. Phil, and I'll send it to you on Instagram. But like they were on an episode of Dr. Phil back in the day where it is a younger version of themselves. And they're, talking about how many partners they all have. And Dr. Phil pulls out some stupid ass chart, and I'm just like, oh God. Um, but yeah, I like the show. Did you know that next episode is the last episode?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only a 6 episode season. I didn't know that. My reality gaze told me. So are you available next week?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Since you're part of this journey of mine, you have to do the
Finale. Yeah.
You have to do the finale with me.
Yeah.
All right, I will let you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate taking out your time and also giving me a view of like the beautiful California
Do you
weather.
miss it? Do you miss it?
I freaking miss it. I really, really do. And I'm like, I want to go in his pool.
You're gonna be back in a month, right? So
Yeah. Yeah,
see
I'll
you.
see you on the 24th.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Who are we talking about next? Kenya. Kenya. I like her situation. I loved how giddy she was with I need to see the Dr. Phil episode now. Yeah. So we have Kenya and she not Dustin or man. Yeah. So her good friend David, who she used to date, came over. And Tiger's feeling some kind of way about it, y'all. He is feeling in his feelings about it. And we're still at the point where Kenya doesn't want the wedding. And Tiger gets to be introduced to her first lover. And that David provides different things, she says. I put that I love her art. Like all the art in her home, I love. I absolutely love it. Let me show you the pictures of who I'm talking about right now. We're talking about Kenya, Carl, and Tiger. Which, I mean, do you guys believe that's his real name? I don't believe that's his real name. So I really love the art in her home. And Tiger's really feeling that if she gets a new guy, that he's not going to remain in his position in Kenya's life. So then David comes. He's visiting from New York, and Kenya is beside herself with giddiness. She sees him and she starts to feel the same feelings that she felt for Tiger when Tiger came into her life. She feels this new, filled with passion, like type of love. And I mean, I get her when she describes it like that, and when she describes it as like wanting to feel that love for someone and having that passion, and that Tiger doesn't even touch her most days. I don't know, you married folks, you tell me if you guys aren't touching enough, if you guys aren't having the same kind of intimacy. I'm not saying that it is grounds for divorce, but it's grounds for some very serious talks and conversations about getting the needs that you want. I guess because I don't feel that you should have to suffer in any situation. What do y'all think? I don't know. For those of you who are not married in the comment section, that's fine. But for those of you who are watching your hashtag replay gang, go on ahead and tell me down below. What do you think? Do you really feel like suffering through a marriage or suffering through a situation that isn't working is okay? I feel like marriage is so limited in our society now. I think it was very necessary in a certain point in our history. But the moral implications about finding that love and passion outside of your marriage, I don't think that it's fair to do that. I mean, I think it's fair to do that. I don't think you should get divorced, but I mean, like, if the person isn't giving you what you want, I think that you should be not okay at all. Okay, you guys do not agree with me. As someone who's been married for 14 years, nope. What is this slavery? I feel like Kenya wants a Disney marriage. Okay, so you guys are saying that marriage is something different than that. Marriage means dealing with the person that doesn't want, I don't know, what? If the partners are willing to work at it, are not willing to work at it, divorce. Oh, okay. I mean, because that could be said. Like sometimes, like I've heard things where there are women who like, I don't want to have sex tonight, but their husbands do. And I'm not saying that she should, but I mean, if those needs aren't being met, I think, if your husband has a high sex drive, why not let him like do it with other people so that you don't have to deal with it? I guess that's what I'm thinking. Now, I don't know what it's like to be married. I know what it's like to love somebody, and I think I would feel a deep bit of what's that word called? A deep feeling of jealousy. But I feel like at the end of the day, if I didn't want to have sex with him, I don't know. Marriages have seasons. It's not fair to suffer. You should speak to each other, but it's important to be intentional daily with each other. Okay, I agree. I agree with that. Some people aren't committed in marriage, so there's always that though. Girl, what? I wonder if Kenya likes the infatuation beginning stages of a relationship rather than the long-term relationship change. I mean, if the person isn't having sex with you, I don't know what to do. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. So her and David do some kind of ceremonial massage with paint, and I wasn't here for it. Don't put paint all over me. Also, that brush tickles. Get off of me. Yeah, that was my thought. I was like, I don't want this. But she was like, it feels so good. And I wonder if Tiger wouldn't do that kind of ceremonial massage with her. They end up getting in the bubble bath together and having a grand old time. What does she have on her hair? Is that a weave? I think it's a weave, right? She's got a little let out. I don't know. Black girls tell me. Black girls tell me. What is that she's got on her head? People can be madly in love, but it doesn't make for a good marriage. I agree. I agree. I think marriage is a commitment, but I don't think it should be a commitment based on like factors that are not always going to last. I don't think it should be a commitment based on physical attraction. I don't think it should be a commitment based on sexual prowess. I don't think it should be a commitment based on unconditional love. I think that it should be a commitment based on your willingness to stick it through with that person through thick and thin. But to me, that doesn't mean monogamy. Not saying that I don't want monogamy, but I'm saying it doesn't always mean that. That's what I think. I do think you have to love the person, and I can love a lot of people that I'm not drop dead in love with. I have to be attracted to that person so that my physical needs can be met. But I think overall, it is a commitment to spend your life with that person until you can't do it anymore, or until death, or until whatever parameters you put on it. A person could be depressed, parent could be sick, stressed at work, but that's why it's important to communicate it and be understanding. I agree. Intimacy outside of sex in the meantime. Mhm. True. It's complicated. Okay. I'll have to take your word for it because your girl is like swimming over here in the single waters, and I've been swimming in them forever. Marriage is a commitment, but it's malleable depending on how the relationship goes. But there are certain things that cannot be compromised on. Okay, I agree. Well, I think that's it. We talked about her doing the commitment ceremony. And I guess they're going to have the ceremony next week, and Carl is going to officiate it. We are going to Shara is going to go to the fertility doctor, I guess, at that point. So I don't know. We have some interesting stuff happening next episode. So thank you guys so much. All right. Thanks, guys, so much for being here. I will try to see you next week to talk about episode 6. But, I always think I'm going to be able to do something and shit doesn't go right. Okay. I will talk to you guys later. You have a fantastic day. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Oh, let's sing this song instead of for the death of Mr. Harry Belafonte. Daylight come and me want go home. Day, me say day, oh. Daylight come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want go home. Day